Good afternoon. Don Briggs, your mayor. Today is Thursday, August 27th, 2020. My guest today is Ms. Suzie Glass, a co-owner of the Odd House. Thank you for joining us today, Mrs. Glass, and it's a pleasure having you
Thank you.
here. And we really want to hear the story of what it's like down at Ground Zero during this pandemic and all exciting things you're doing to combat it. I'm going to go over a little data, and we'll come back and you'll have the floor. We're still working under Maryland Strong roadmap to recovery. It was put in place April 24th. We're in phase 2. That's a sweeping one with some adjustments where restaurants and bars can be open, modified seating demands requested, and we have allows for outdoor seating. We had a meeting today with Mayors Burgess, County Executive, teleconference. Our town manager sat in for me as I was down at the Wayside exhibits. We put Wayside exhibits in at Vigilant Hose, the Square, Chronicle Press, and the Carriage House. We had a Mr. Bodner here. It used to be called the Bodner Hotel and restaurant way back in the 50s, and he joined us for the day. It was a wonderful ceremony thing. COVID information in the state, well, we have a lot of people testing negative. There's a slight uptick in demand for beds, acute beds. ICU beds is the same. In Frederick County, 3,404 cases, 116 deaths. There have only been two deaths, and we miss everybody that's passed away, but we have a good record here, 2 deaths, uptick in about a month. We have 40 confirmed cases here. We're up 4. That's for the 2172 zip code for this week. With regard to, we mentioned bars, and they can have outdoor seating, masks, all these things, and distancing they're putting in place. COVID-19 testing at the Seton Center, please call them. They've changed their schedule. They're not open every week. I think they're going to every other week, and to see how that accommodates our demand up here. 301-447-6102, 301-447-6102, and they would be there on Tuesdays from 12 to 2, but they are changing their schedule. Due to the lack of rain, we're in phase 1, voluntary restraints for water, and we're going to assess that again at our September meeting. Thank you for the first line, our stores and restaurants and auto repair shops. It's overwhelming what your support for carryouts and things like that. Our pool, it operates under strict health department lines, and through Labor Day, Monday, September 7th, it'll be open. That'll be the last day it'll be open. So get out and enjoy. We're up to 71.4% on our census. At this point, we have one more month to go. The last census before I took office, they were only at 52.4%. And that difference right now, if we were to stop now, 570 people, equates to $10,260,000 that comes into our community. Every year the federal government has a tranche. They give out $645 million, and it's done by census. So we've jumped up $10 million. Each of us are $1,800 per year for 10 years, or $18,000 for the decade. Mrs. Glass, we have a new square. Things are going well. Mount traffic is where it needs to be, and all the support you have for maybe skiing and everything like that. And then we have the pandemic. And could you please just tell us what it's been like down there to operate when this thing hits and shuts the doors and everything you've done to come back and liven up the square?
Well, when it first shut down, we thought it would be a temporary thing. Everyone thought it would just be 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and things will get straightened out and we'd be back on the road again. But it's been catastrophic. It's been unbelievable how long we've had to endure it, and it's a day by day thing. You know, one day you have great business, the next day it's slower. I think everyone just hangs on by a thread. You know, you're just doing everything you can possibly do to keep yourself running. And the community has been wonderful about ordering carry out or coming in. You know, I know a lot of people are still afraid to come in, but people still do come in, which we really appreciate. The town's been wonderful about helping us with our outside seating. That's been a tremendous help. People really enjoy sitting outside. They feel safer sitting outside. It's slowly coming back. The amount coming back has been a small improvement because we have a lot of the kids live in town, and so that's picked up our carryout and picked up indoor seating. People, you know, the kids will come in, but it's an adjustment for them because it's different. It's not the old way, you know. We're not the same as we were before. You can come and eat. You have to stay seated, and you have to put your mask on when you get up and move, and so it's a day-to-day training thing for everybody to get used to. But they're slowly getting adjusted. Everyone's slowly getting adjusted. But we're hoping that the end is near because it's very difficult, and that fine line is definitely a fine line.
Well, we're all concerned that there'll be a second wave this fall, and I did speak to somebody from the university yesterday, and they really feel they're doing all these things. People are meeting them. One professor's in charge of commuter traffic, one's dorms, and one's off campus, and just a lot of things going on. But this is a big week for them, and they had a few positive cases, but they've isolated them and checked everybody and tracked everybody. It's something. It's a community thing. We all got to work together on it. But you bring so much vitality to the square that outdoor seating, what you've done with the umbrellas, and I know it's probably hard to serve, but everybody I know loves it, and I'm meeting somebody for coffee there tomorrow at 3:00, just to and sit there and enjoy that. The streetscape is wonderful, and it really accompanies the wonderful square down there. But I really appreciate it. I know you employ people. It's a family business, and you've done so much for the community, and you bring traffic down to our town. Is there something maybe with bagpipers coming? Is possibly could happen later? If it's not, if it's still in the planning, you don't have to say anything. But
Well, no, we had I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I have his card at the restaurant, and I apologize for not remembering. But he stopped in last week and said that the bagpipers were still going to come down, even though there wasn't the memorial. That was still going to be part of their honoring, and they were going to play somewhere, I think, on the around the Basilica or close to the Fire Academy. But I'm not quite sure where that's going to be located, but I will find out. And then they were going to come visit us at the Odd House, but they were quite excited about that. They still wanted to come back because they still felt that was their part, even though we couldn't have the memorial.
let me look at the date here. But
It's October the 3rd. It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday.
it'll be a Saturday.
Yeah. So
That's terrific. We're all got to do something for fallen firefighters, and how many do you think there will be?
he said there were probably 50 to 60 of them, and then they'll probably still play in town. They'll play out there, and then they said they will come in town, but they'll play in smaller groups, maybe out on the street.
The fire company.
Around the fire company or around the square.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, so they were really pleased that we could still accommodate them. You know, we still said they'd have to still sit like everyone else. You know, they had to sit 6 to a seat, and they'd have to wear their masks, and we can't have them play inside, but they would just go in smaller groups and maybe play outside. So
that'd be great.
the town people, they always come and listen outside and inside anyway, so I think they'd really enjoy them. We also had a gentleman contact us yesterday. He always buys his T-shirts every year from their fire department to honor the fallen firefighters. So we're always in the same uniform. So he contacted us yesterday. He still wants us to. He wants to send us shirts for that weekend, and he still wants us to wear the shirts for the weekend to honor the weekend. So that's that was really nice and very complimentary to us that they're going to still send them to us.
Well, if I can get one, I'll buy it from them. I'll contact you and see if I can get a 2X for me. But
Yep.
that's so exciting to have that observing something. It's really going to happen that weekend because we're just can't let it go. It's a
Well, it's a
trip.
great honor to the community. I mean, we're so fortunate to have the fire academy here and the memorial, because people come nationwide to honor their, the fallen firefighters from all over the country. So with all the fires we have all the time in the mountains in California and right now in Colorado, it's just, devastating the loss that they have sometimes.
It is. Well, thank you for pulling that together to keep that. One of the threads that always happens in this community, we'll work together, and a lot of things happen here. But this tribute for fallen firefighters weekend will be on Saturday the 3rd, and we'll keep you apprised of where it'll be. But there'll be 50 to 60 bagpipers here in town, and they will all be out probably on the daughter's property for some tribute there. And let's all try to get out there and talk to them. Okay, just a few more things to talk about, and I'll be right back with you. It looks like the new Dunkin' Donuts is right on track. They're early September. Maybe some hold up a little bit with the getting some of the additional permits and inspections. Everybody's reacting to that. 7 p.m. on what is that? The Thursday. I wrote down that date. The 3rd, September 3rd, 7 o'clock here. Jim Hoover, former mayor, Cliff Sweeney, who's been on the board for a long time, myself are contesting for the mayor's seat. I want to finish my program, but 7 p.m. we'll have a forum here, and it should be very good. And then on the 12th, Saturday the 12th, we'll be at 10 a.m. to dedicate the park to Eugene Myers Community Park, and there'll be a tribute out there too. Let's see, yard waste, no September 5th collection. Next dates are September 12th and 19th. They're Saturdays, only paper bags. Our recycle bags will be accepted. We have grant money for businesses still. We have 2 people applying now, coming in. Please come in. I think the food bank is stocked. I have not heard from Phyllis, and as I always say, please watch the scams. They seem to come when there is a tragedy like the pandemic we're going through. Ms. Ott, anything you want to talk about the town ought to be doing, or businesses ought to be doing? We always want tribute, and it's got a strong history. It's not the first time. We were up there for the Great Fire a century ago, but now we're at we had the pandemic here in 1917, and also the crash. So the town's durable, and it's tough. We got a nice country culture up here that I'm glad I'm kind of morphing into, and it's a wonderful town. But do you have any final thoughts you'd like to tell everybody out there? Hope, anything?
I think businesses themselves are very endurable, and they're really stepping up to the pace with you have to work a lot of hours, a lot of a lot of free time that you put in, and so I think they're doing everything they can possibly do to keep themselves afloat. I think the community has been behind us 100%. So I don't know what else I could tell someone else to do. I think they've been great about supporting us, and that we're lucky that we have such a community as we do, because otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Well, it's also a tribute to your fine service and fine food, everything you offer here, and openness to accept any the way of travelers and everything like that. On behalf of myself, the town commissioners, our staff, and our community, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for coming on today and just giving us a little peek at what it's like down there. And thank you very much.
We appreciate it too. The town has really helped us as well. I mean, immediately, people, you contacted us and tell us that we could have whatever parking we could have what signage we could have. You helped us with the outdoor seating. So you've been really wonderful. So we appreciate that.
Thank you very much. We have a wonderful staff and everything. But thank you. Next week we'll be back here, and I think we'll have Sister Martha back just to see how they're preparing for the fall. And the following week we'll have Secretary of Commerce Kelly Schultz will be our guest, and then following week we'll have Dr. Tim Trainer from the Mount just to see how all this is fitting in. But thank you again, and best to you. Take care. We're all in it together.